I somehow managed to pluck the most unattainable flower at University A. And the most arrogant. Coolest one at that. He's like poison. Every strand of his hair lures me in. Every time we meet, I can't resist the urge to get close. But he coldly pressed my hand away. Can you be a little more reserved? After dating for months. Forget about abs. I hadn't even touched his stomach. I thought it was pretty dull. So I proposed breaking up. The untouchable, pristine flower of the lofty peaks instantly lost his composure. It's not that you don't cherish what you've got, but you haven't even gotten me yet. Have you? Humph. So you're just after my looks after all. Fine. Looks it is. Just come back. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Subscribe us to read wonderful novels every day. Now the story begins. The youngest in the dorm got a boyfriend and, as per tradition, treated the whole dorm and their partners to a meal. I sent a message to Rodney. After a long time, he called back. Weekend works. Was just playing ball. A faint panting sound, along with his uniquely magnetic and husky voice, came through the receiver. Like an electric current, a tingling sensation crept into my eardrums. Pink bubbles instantly bubbled up in my heart, and I broke into a silly, sweet smile. I was just about to say I'd go find him, when his lazy voice drifted over nonchalantly. Just one condition. Keep your hands to yourself. I froze, my face burning red. Who said anything about that? I was just holding your hand. Be honest. Girlfriend. Was it really just holding hands? From fingers to arms. Who knows where he'd go if I didn't stop him? He teased mischievously. I felt ashamed but couldn't refute it. Rodney was like poison, with an irresistible allure to me. Before I met him, I was a well-behaved girl who followed the rules. After meeting him, I turned into a clingy monster. Every part of him attracts me, and every move he makes fascinates me. Just hearing his voice or smelling his scent makes me happy. Every time we meet, I can't help but want to touch him, to kiss him. But who would have thought? Despite his seemingly experienced appearance, he's actually icy and rigid to the extreme. Each time, he uses that cool, aloof playboy face of his to stop me unhurriedly. We've just started dating. Take it slow. No rush. I don't like showing affection in public. Keep your little paws in check and don't cross the line. Okay. I felt like some kind of villainous woman forcing innocence into corruption, both ashamed and utterly shattered. Help. How did I become like this? Later I learned that this is called physiological attraction, a kind of heartfelt infatuation, an innate magnetic pull, an unconscious surrender. To avoid scaring away the hard-won, unattainable flower, I could only desperately suppress my wicked thoughts, striving to maintain the persona of a well-behaved and upright young lady. That evening, I behaved impeccably throughout the entire dinner. I was cautious with my words and actions, strictly adhering to proper etiquette. Although it was clearly the youngest sister's first time bringing her boyfriend to meet the family, I ended up being more nervous than her, which made Rodney keep glancing at me sideways. After dinner, we went to watch a movie. The wise dorm leader chose a thriller romance film. There were quite a few couples around us. The girls kept letting out delicate screams from time to time, followed by various soothing male voices, which eventually turned into blushing and breath-stealing kissing sounds. Only my posture remains upright, my gaze unwavering. My expression is resolutely fixed on the screen. It's not that I'm brave. I'm just dizzy. My nostrils are filled with Rodney's pleasant scent, leaving my mind in complete disarray. My mind was completely not on the movie, enjoying it. Rodney glanced at me sideways. Yeah. Only after nodding did I realize the screen was showing an intensely passionate scene. Knew you'd like this part. He smirked with amusement. Blood rushed to my face, and my old cheeks couldn't take it anymore. I stood up and excused myself to the restroom. When I returned, the movie was just reaching its most intense and thrilling part. The theater was pitch dark, with eerie and suspenseful sound effects surrounding us. I carefully made my way to my seat using the light from my phone. Suddenly, a piercing scream erupted from the screen. Startled, I tripped and lunged toward Rodney. He let out a muffled groan, grabbed my wrist, and hissed through clenched teeth. Can't let my guard down for even a moment. Are you trying to kill me with that sneak attack? I panicked instantly, stammering out an explanation. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry. I hurriedly tried to pull my hand away, but it was gripped even tighter. He sighed and brushed aside the stray hair by my temple. Scared, I froze for a moment before realizing he was asking about the movie. So I quickly nodded, letting out a kitten-like whimper. That's terrifying. He covered my eyes and scolded me with a laugh. Stop staring with those wolf-like green eyes, and maybe I'll believe you. With that, he lifted me with one hand and pressed me into the seat. He generously opened his arms and pulled me into an embrace. Is this better? Behave and watch the movie properly. He wronged me, but he was holding me. I shyly pressed my face against his chest, greedily inhaling his scent, like sunlit grass, or a forest brushed by a gentle breeze. So blissful it made me dizzy. Gradually, my gaze drifted upward without realizing. Under the dim light, that face looked so handsome it seemed to have stepped out of a comic. Arching eyebrows, cold eyes, a tall and straight nose, thin lips with the most alluring curve, pressed together indifferently yet as red and glossy as jelly. I couldn't help but move closer and closer. What's the matter? His palm swiftly blocked my face. There was a mosquito by your mouth, with the most innocent eyes. I uttered the most ridiculous lie. So you're planning to use your mouth to help me swat mosquitoes? Rodney laughed in exasperation, simply pulling me away and pushing me back into my seat. TSK. Can't even give you a single opportunity. Public place. Don't be a pervert. Okay. I turned my head away angrily. Fine. I won't touch it then. You stingy thing. The tone was playful, yet a wave of shame still washed over me. There's a faint sense of loss. After the movie, everyone still wanted more. So we moved to a bar and started playing Truth or Dare. After a few drinks, the questions got increasingly spicy. When the bottle cap pointed at the youngest roommate's boyfriend, the atmosphere instantly escalated. So, how far have you two gotten? The tanned athlete's handsome face immediately flushed with nervousness, turning red beneath his dark skin. The dorm leader cursed. No way. This is the third boyfriend of the pretty youngest sister. She calmly pursed her lips and gave a shy smile. The sports student guiltily picked up his glass, only to be stopped by her. What's the point of drinking more? They already know the answer. I was so shocked my eyes nearly popped out of my head. Didn't you just start dating? The youngest gave me a suggestive wink. Martina, you've been exposed. I froze, wishing I could take back what I'd just said. These women, watching like tigers eyeing their prey, were already Rodney with keen interest. It's all because his reputation was too big, cool, aloof, and indifferent, giving off the vibe of a playboy. Plus, there had been constant rumors about him before, though none were ever confirmed. I was the only girlfriend he ever officially acknowledged. They've always been curious about our situation. So in the next round, when the bottle pointed at me, the same question came straight at me. What stage are you two at now? Feeling embarrassed, I silently reached for the wine glass, but the youngest stopped me. Her eyes were like those of a 1,000-year-old fox, darting back and forth between the two of us. No way. Are you still at first base? Martina, I know you're shy, but you can't keep stringing our Rodney along like this. He's a hot commodity. Be careful not to play too hard to get, or he might run off with someone else. The youngest, emboldened by alcohol, teased without restraint. My heart ached with sorrow, but I had nowhere to vent. Forcing a smile, pushing the youngest's hand away, I was about to down the drink in one gulp. Suddenly, a slender hand reached out and took my glass. Rodney smiled and ruffled my hair. I think Martina is just fine this way. I really like it. With that, he lowered his head and finished the drink for me. Cheers erupted around us, everyone saying Rodney spoils me too much. I could only force a smile, swallowing my pride and bearing the humiliation. After a short while, the beer bottle spun around and pointed at Rodney again. The dorm leader gave a sly smile and delivered a perfect assist. Rodney, give your girlfriend a kiss. The surroundings instantly erupted in chaos. Kiss. Kiss. French kiss. I'm recording this. Last time someone said our alumni were no good. Rodney's been dating for so long, yet no one's caught them locking lips on camera. Someone else came to persuade me. He's had quite a bit to drink. Didn't you say he wasn't feeling well? Then don't make him drink anymore. Just play along. Okay, Martina. Let's get some sugar. The kids are starving. Come on, youngest. Show her what a kiss in the honeymoon phase looks like. The youngest sibling didn't hesitate to pull her boyfriend close and planted a passionate, lingering kiss on him. It nearly made my heart stop beating, as if infected by their heat. My face burned crimson, and I flusteredly glanced at Rodney. Rodney leaned back casually in the booth, his long legs stretched out lazily, with a lollipop in my mouth. I calmly watched my roommates go crazy. The dorm leader stepped in to mediate, calling for the crowd to stop their teasing. Put your phones away. What's with the French style? A normal kiss will do. Rodney didn't move. Can we just do a quick peck? Rodney still didn't move. All eyes turned to me, and I felt my face burning. I quickly glanced at Rodney before looking back at everyone. The smile was almost too awkward to maintain. A kiss on the cheek. Would that be okay? I whispered, trying to negotiate. Everyone seemed to catch on and didn't press further. Rodney silently watched me. I looked at him pitifully, eyes full of pleading. Please, just bear with it. Do me this favor. He frowned slightly and finally took the lollipop out of his mouth. His tall figure leaned forward slightly, bending down toward my face. The scent of sunshine and grass immediately enveloped me, and the surrounding noise faded like receding waves. Only the wild pounding of my heart remained in my chest, as if it might burst out at any moment. I trembled and closed my eyes. Then the next second, slender fingers pressed against my forehead and gave a gentle push. He brushed past me and took my wine glass. Sorry. I've had a cold lately. Can't pass it to my Martina. I'm shy and not used to performing in public. In that case, I'll punish myself with 3 drinks. With that, he took his own glass, grabbed an empty one, and filled both to the brim. He downed each glass in one swift gulp, clean and decisive. I stared blankly, the smile on my face no longer sustainable. My heart felt as if it were being fiercely gripped by a large hand. Not even a kiss on the cheek. You'd rather drink than kiss me. Does he love me or not? My acquaintance with Rodney began with an unauthorized photo shoot. That day he was playing a match, surrounded by layers of screaming girls who emitted sharp, piercing shrieks. At the time, I was obsessed with photography. and it was rare to come across such a perfect subject. So I squeezed into the crowd too, frantically pressing the shutter on my camera. Just had bad luck. Got caught red-handed by him. With a cold expression, he grabbed the camera and deleted everything in a furious clatter. Why only delete mine? Others took photos too. Is it just because I used a camera? My face flushed with pent-up frustration, seething with anger but not daring to speak out. When I finally got my camera back, I was delighted again. He missed deleting one photo. The one where he lifted his shirt to reveal a glimpse of his abs. Every time I look at that photo now, I can't help but marvel at the creator's favoritism. His looks are simply captivating, whether it's his face, his figure, or that bad boy charm. Rumor has it that the number of senior and junior girls chasing him could form a reinforced company. At the time, I was purely appreciating him from an artistic perspective and didn't think much of it. But just as I was about to forget, a new order came in for my casual photography gig. When we met, I was almost scared to death. It turned out to be Rodney. He needed to take some lifestyle photos for the upcoming academic competition he was about to participate in. I never expected someone who looks like a school bully to also be a top student. Luckily, he didn't recognize me, but he's really terrible at taking photos. The whole time, I had to constantly adjust his poses, guide his expressions, and coax him to relax and smile. It was exhausting. What's worse, every time I got close, my heart raced like a wild horse running free. Move your arm a little. Tilt your cheek slightly. Lift your chin. Every physical touch feels like fingers being scorched by fire. It's just puzzling. I don't have this issue when taking photos for others. Fortunately, though he's aloof, he's surprisingly easy to talk to. After watching the finished film, without saying a word, they directly added me on WeChat and transferred the money. But this person is truly toxic. For over a month after that, every photoshoot I did for others felt dull and uninspiring. I kept feeling that the people in front of the lens weren't captured well in any way, which directly affected my creative passion. Yet at this very moment, orders suddenly surged, leaving me completely overwhelmed. Upon asking, I broke out in a cold sweat. They all said they found me Rodney through online photoshoot invitations, which still had my contact information attached. Shocking. He wouldn't think I used his photos for advertising, would he? I never shared those photos with anyone. Just as I was struggling with whether to explain things to him, I ran into him on the road. He looked like he had just been in a fight. His aura fierce, with a cut at the corner of his mouth. His gaze swept over me, cold and sharp, trembling with fear. I quickly stepped forward to explain that your photo wasn't posted online by me. No wonder I've been getting so many harassing calls lately. It really wasn't me. I'm hungry. Let's eat first. In the blink of an eye, I found myself inexplicably sitting Rodney across from. I invited him to a small restaurant near the school to make amends. Oh well, considering all the orders I've taken, I should treat him to this meal. But just as I was desperately trying to prove my innocence, the department bell from the foreign languages department suddenly burst in, tears streaming down like pear blossoms in the rain. Rodney wiped away her tears. Why did you block me? Why are you avoiding me? What exactly about me don't you like? Can't I change? Rodney looked impatient, his dark eyes suddenly turning to me. Is this him asking me to make room for their conversation? I considerately stood up to leave, but he suddenly pulled me into his arms. A breath carrying the scent of fresh grass rushed towards me as he accurately captured my lips with his. See, I already have someone I like. I didn't catch a single word of what was said next, nor did I notice when the campus bell left. All I felt was fireworks exploding in my brain and electric currents sizzling through my entire body. Help! That was my first kiss. It wasn't until Rodney kept apologizing that I hazily snapped out of my frozen state. What came out of my mouth was, "Can I pursue you?" This time it was Rodney's turn to freeze. By the time my senses returned, I already regretted it. But Rodney had already reluctantly agreed. So I couldn't back out either. Forget it. It's rare to meet someone who sparks such feelings. Might as well hit that southern wall head on. After all, he was the unattainable flower on the high peak. Failing wouldn't be shameful. So I followed others' examples, delivering breakfast, asking him out for meals, bringing water during basketball games. The whole process was carried out with great professionalism and dedication. Rodney smirked at the corner of his mouth, his gaze towards me growing increasingly inscrutable, until 1 month later, without any warning, he grabbed my hand and took a photo, posted it on his social media. Caption: "She's the one. Perfect." In an instant, countless jaws dropped. The school forum crashed, with my name flooding the confession wall every day. Dazed by this stroke of luck, I thought sweet romance had finally come my way. But when we were actually together, I realized it wasn't like that at all. Who dates by spending every day in the library, being forced to memorize vocabulary for the CET-6 exam? Who dates by busily participating in various competitions to show off, making their girlfriend take photos the whole time? Who dates by literally just talking, never initiating intimacy or allowing any closeness? Yet he was like a piece of Tang Monk's flesh, so enticing it made me dizzy. Once, I couldn't take it anymore and, pretending to be drunk, I kissed him first. He covered my mouth, smirking with a wicked and smug grin. "What kind of dirty thoughts are filling that little head of yours? You're not just after my looks, are you? The body is also a part of you. Give the body a break. Can't you appreciate your boyfriend's other qualities?" My face turned red with embarrassment, but I still wouldn't let go. Summoning up my courage, I asked, "Don't you want to?" Then, he stared at me, his gaze gradually darkening, his Adam's apple bobbing fiercely. "No rush. Take it slow. Let nature take its course." "But I want to," I interrupted him, standing on tiptoe in frustration to force a kiss. The moment I stepped back, he turned the tables and pinned me against the wall. In a moment of impulse, I dizzily left a hickey on his neck. Afterward, he was furious and refused to see me for a week. I was also ashamed and remorseful, swearing solemnly never to do it again. I always thought he was a treasure of a boy, wild on the outside but pure at heart. But now it seems that's not the case. What's really going on between you two? Who in a relationship doesn't want to kiss and cuddle? I'm sorry. I was wrong. I used to envy you for having it so good. But it turns out you've been starving all along. No. This issue must be taken seriously. Back in the dorm, everyone was talking over each other, giving me a headache. I listened with a bitter smile, resolving in my heart that it was time to have an open and honest talk with him. The next day, I messaged him, but he said he was busy and would get back to me. I waited from morning till night, but still didn't receive any message. While lingering near the boys' dormitory, I happened to run into his roommate. When I asked if he had seen Rodney, the guy was visibly startled, then shook his head. "Have you tried calling him? The phone is off. He said he was busy with something earlier." "Yeah, he's quite busy. Don't wait. Go back first." I nodded blankly and turned away in disappointment. After a few steps, I suddenly remembered something I needed to ask and turned back around. Then I heard them whispering. Didn't we just see Rodney at the cafe by the entrance? Why didn't you tell his girlfriend? What do you know? Rodney isn't answering calls, which obviously means he doesn't want to deal with it. No way. Rodney got tired of her. That girl is quite cute. TSK. Just putting on a good front. You haven't seen Rodney come back with lipstick marks. His face dark as a pot bottom. Clearly forced into it. Rodney doesn't like being touched. But if he's like that with his girlfriend too, I guess he's just not that into her. Probably just using her as a shield. That girl from the foreign languages department was way too persistent back then. No way. Rodney isn't that kind of person. TSK. You saw that stunning beauty at the cafe earlier. That's Rodney's eternal crush. She comes looking for him often. And every time Rodney gets annoyed but ends up going anyway. Once. He didn't even come back all night. I couldn't bear to listen any longer and turned to rush toward the door. Sure enough, Rodney was sitting by the window with a girl whose long hair cascaded like seaweed. The girl was radiantly beautiful, leaning against his shoulder and sobbing. Yet Rodney, who usually wouldn't let anyone touch him, didn't push her away. He also handed her a tissue. His lowered eyelashes seemed to be offering some comfort. My heart sank to the bottom in an instant. So the reluctance to kiss and hug wasn't due to being old-fashioned or rigid, but because there's no love at the prime of youth. If it were true love, how could one be so restrained by rules? I've never been one to make things hard for myself. I never exhaust myself reaching for what I know is beyond my grasp. Rodney is the only exception for me. For him, I repeatedly deceived and forced myself. Actually, from the first time he pushed me away, I knew I was forcing it. Since I've hit the wall, it's time to turn back and heal properly. Bumping into the same wall over and over is utterly pointless. I let out a self-mocking laugh, took out my phone, and sent a text. I'm done. Let's break up. Then I blocked the number, deleted the account, and walked away. My phone has been buzzing non-stop since evening. Block 1. And another pops up. Through the dormitory curtains. Downstairs Rodney stands straighter than a pine tree. The gaze shooting upward is both icy and furious. Seems even more aggrieved and angry than I am. Not wanting to disturb my roommate. When the phone rang again, I simply answered it. What do you mean you're tired of it? Martina, can you explain this to me? How long have we even been together? Are you playing with me? Before I could speak, the other side fired off questions like a rapid-fire gun, their voice both angry and urgent. I took a deep breath and answered calmly. Just what it means. I don't feel it anymore. Don't feel anything. Rodney seemed deeply shaken, repeating the words in a daze before gritting his teeth and growling under his breath. Isn't it said that people stop cherishing things once they get them? But you haven't even gotten me yet. Is it because I didn't kiss you during that dare game? So you're throwing a tantrum with me. He had noticed it too. But even if he did, he didn't care. I chuckled self-deprecatingly. Maybe so. Come down. Let's talk. No need. It's just a kiss. Is breaking up really necessary? Just a kiss. And you won't even give me that. There was a pause on the other end, followed by an infuriated, icy laugh. Certain and indignant. Humph. So you really are just after my looks. I decided to throw caution to the wind. Yes. That's right. But even this superficial appearance, I can't have it. What's the use of you? Let it be. Don't call again. I'm not worthy of you. I threw the phone aside, flopped onto the bed, and couldn't hold back my tears. Asshole. Why assume I only like his looks? I clearly also appreciate his intelligence, humor, and thoughtfulness. Is it just because I can't resist wanting to be close to him? What kind of trash is he himself? Anyway, whatever. We're broken up now. Anyway, breaking up is for the best. Soon, I'll be back to being a lively and energetic college girl. I comforted myself with these thoughts, but my mood remained low, and I couldn't muster any enthusiasm for anything. The youngest, who was experienced in love, suggested I start a new relationship and even offered to set me up. But I said I wasn't in the mood. During the optional class in the afternoon, I listlessly slumped over the desk. Suddenly, a small commotion broke out in the classroom. As I looked up, my eyes met Rodney's. He never contacted me again after that day. It's been about a week since we last saw each other. He stared at me coldly, his dark eyes fixed on me without blinking, concealing a fierce intensity. I lowered my head expressionlessly and took out a book to open it. Rodney also took this course, but he used to skip it often, thinking it was too easy. So why did he come today? Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a girl approach him as soon as he sat down in front. After the news of our breakup spread, you can imagine how sought after he became again. Many had previously said that if someone like me was acceptable, then they could be too. A cute girl with twin ponytails ran up to him, blushing as she held up her phone. Rodney raised an eyebrow slightly and turned his head without a word. His bold gaze turned toward me without any attempt to hide it. I focused my gaze on my nose, and my nose on my heart, pretending not to see anything. His expression turned cold as he took out his phone and changed numbers. The cute girl covered her mouth and squealed with joy. A sharp pain throbbed in my chest. Got it. He came today specifically to annoy me. For the entire next class. I kept my eyes straight ahead and didn't glance at him again. As soon as the bell rang, I packed up and left. Beside me, the youngest nudged me. I looked up and met Rodney's unwavering gaze. A look of tangled hesitation and uncertain irritation. 3 seconds later, he stood up, seemingly about to approach me. Rodney. A coquettish call suddenly rang out as a girl in a red dress fluttered over like a butterfly, warmly linking arms with him. Why so slow? Come on, treat me to a meal. I pressed my lips tightly together, picked up my bag, and left through the back door without looking back. The whole way, the youngest kept chattering nonstop. So that's Rodney's white moonlight. Then you really don't stand a chance. I know this beauty. She's the campus belle from the neighboring university. Talented, beautiful, and from a prominent family. Her suitors come in waves, more numerous than leeks in a field. We really can't compare. But Rodney, what's his deal? Keeping one eye on the bowl and the other on the pot. Treating you as a backup. Staying pure for his white moonlight. That's really scummy. Does your offer to set me up with a boyfriend still stand? I interrupted her quietly. Of course. The youngest immediately turned into a matchmaker. My boyfriend's junior. A sweet and enthusiastic puppy. And most importantly, he's got a great body. Fine. Him then. I quickly made the decision and quickened my pace, as if walking any slower would let the evening breeze blow away the moisture at the corners of my eyes. The youngest sibling was actually reliable this time. The guy introduced was indeed nice. Tall, fair-skinned, with clear eyes and adorable little fangs when he smiled. A sunny and cheerful puppy type, completely different from Rodney, who's more like a wild Tibetan Mastiff. But for some reason, I just couldn't muster any interest. Sis, what would you like to drink? Inside the beverage shop, Philip opened the ordering page on his phone and enthusiastically offered to buy me a drink. Not wanting to turn down his kindness, I leaned in closer. The shop door was pushed open. Rodney and his group walked in. Oh my! Isn't that someone? Already found the next one so quickly. She looks like such a sweet and gentle girl. The speed of this seamless transition is impressive. TSK. Rodney, you're not doing well. Get out. Rodney let out a furious shout, and the others immediately fell silent. I also lost my mood, so I told Philip to order whatever for me. I thought to myself that I must have forgotten to check the almanac before going out today. My luck was truly terrible. Rodney and the others walked over and sat down at the adjacent spot. I don't know if it's just my imagination, but I keep feeling a chilling gaze on my back. Before long, Philip came over with drinks in hand. Sis, try this new flavor. He handed it over with a smile, and I was just about to take it. Her stomach is sensitive. She can't drink anything cold. A voice devoid of emotion suddenly spoke up. Philip paused mid-motion. I casually took it and said, "It's fine. She can have something warm later. She doesn't like mangoes either," Rodney said quietly, his narrow dark eyes carrying a hint of provocation. Philip felt somewhat awkward. "Sorry. Let me get you another one." "No need." I stopped his hand without even glancing Rodney in the eye. I flashed him a sweet smile. People's tastes change. What they liked before, they might not like now. I want to try this one. Rodney's pupils turned icy cold, his expression darkening. He grabbed his drink and took a large, angry gulp. Seemed really angry. I ignored him and leisurely sipped my drink. Just one sip. It was really cold. My sensitive stomach might not handle it well. The warm-hearted little pup kept an eye on me. He suggested with concern, "How about switching to a drink without ice? Otherwise, you might feel uncomfortable in your stomach when swimming later." "Are you guys going swimming?" Before I could respond, an uncontrollable growl sounded beside me. Rodney stared at me, his eyes filled with shock, anger, shame, and confusion. There was even a hint of grievance. I couldn't quite understand it, but I remembered that not long ago, when I wanted him to teach me how to swim, he saw right through me and found it utterly amusing. "So you want to learn swimming? Or is it that you just want to feel my abs? Quite the clever little mind you've got there. Don't even think about it until you pass the CET 6. Philip also noticed the undercurrents at the scene. She asked me with a smile, "Sister, do you want to change places?" "Okay. I'll go to the restroom first." When I came out of the restroom, suddenly my vision blurred, and before I could see anything clearly, I was pulled into a corner by a strong force. The scent of fresh grass enveloped me tightly, leaving no room to breathe. Rodney trapped me between the wall and himself. His solid chest heaved violently, his voice seething with anger as it escaped through clenched teeth. "How long have you even known him? And you're already going swimming together. Is his looks all that attracts you? Is that the only thing you care about?" My face burned with humiliation, and I lashed out with a kick, but his long legs easily pinned me down. "Right. I have such lowly tastes. So unworthy of you. The great campus heartthrob. But what does it have to do with you? We've already broken up. What right do you have to control me? Jerk." I was trembling with anger, my voice shaking. Tears shamelessly welled up in my eyes. Rodney was startled and let go of me in a fluster. He wanted to reach out and wipe my tears but didn't dare. "I'm sorry. That's not what I meant." I kicked him hard and ran away. I hadn't planned to go swimming in the first place. This was originally the youngest sister's date with her boyfriend, but she insisted on dragging us along, claiming it was to help us build our relationship. Just now, because Rodney was present, I didn't refuse. Now I have no choice but to grit my teeth and go to the appointment. When I came out wrapped in a towel, I saw Philip's well-built upper body, Not bad. But my heart remained completely calm. I couldn't help but secretly breathe a sigh of relief, confirming to myself that I truly wasn't a lustful woman. Yet the very next moment, sorrow welled up within me again. Could it be that I only have feelings for Rodney? Will I never be able to like anyone else again? I suddenly felt overwhelmed and irritable, and in the end, I made up an excuse and fled in panic. Back in the dorm, I tried to read, but the words seemed to dance on the page. I wanted to sleep, but my mind was wide awake. I could only go out and wander aimlessly, round and round. He didn't return until very late, utterly exhausted, but downstairs. Rodney's roommate stopped him. Rodney is drunk at the bar and refuses to leave. Keeps calling your name. He even got into a fight, and they're threatening to call the police. Could you please go check on him? I've never seen him so heartbroken before. That stubborn fool just wouldn't come back with us. A surge of anger flared up in my chest. That bastard. Clearly, you're the one who's two-timing and being a jerk. So why put on this act of being so devoted? I'm really curious to see what kind of drama you're trying to pull off here. Fueled by anger, I stormed into the bar. As soon as I entered the private room, I saw beer bottles scattered all over the table. Rodney, his eyes were bleary with drink. His usually meticulous collar half unbuttoned as he reclined on the black sofa. A cigarette dangled from his lips. The corners of his eyes lifted in a roguish smirk. Back from swimming. How did those abs feel to the touch? Good. At least you still recognize me. Feels good. I stepped forward, about to ask what nonsense he was up to and if we could go back now. But suddenly his eyes reddened, and he flipped me over, pinning me down on the sofa. His scorching large hand grabbed mine and shoved it under his shirt. That kind of plain-boiled chicken. Can it compare to me? Don't look for someone else. Don't break up. Okay. I can't take it anymore. So what if it's just the body? As long as you come back. Whatever you want to do. I'll agree to anything. He grabbed my hand, the real touch making my soul tremble. In a daze, he began unbuttoning his shirt again. If only my flesh can keep you. Then take it. But once you have it, you must cherish it. Otherwise, I won't let you off easily. The dark tides in his pitch-black eyes surged wave after wave, nearly drowning me. I've never seen you like this before, Rodney. Fighting so desperately against it. He pressed a deep kiss against my neck, gripping my hand stubbornly, refusing to let go. How could you be so cruel, saying I have no feelings for you? Do you have any idea how hard I've been holding back? Do you think you're the only one who wants to? His voice and breath formed a cage that trapped me. No matter how I struggled, I couldn't break free. And in my desperation, I burst into tears. Rodney suddenly froze, finally regaining some clarity. He sat up in frustration, resting the back of his hand against his eyes. After a long while, a hoarse voice broke the silence. Sorry, I scared you. Let's go back first, I answered with a trembling voice. When I got back to the dorm, I started shutting myself in, not even daring to answer the phone, afraid I'd make a fool of myself again if I did. I still haven't figured out how to face Rodney. One thing is certain. I can't hold back the young puppy anymore. So I went to Philip and made it clear that we weren't a good match. He was disappointed but said we could still be friends. Feelings are truly strange things. If Rodney and I break up, we definitely couldn't stay friends. Why am I thinking about him again? Why did he treat me like that day? Should I go and confront him to get a clear answer? Amidst my chaotic thoughts, a familiar voice suddenly rang out. Did you hear that? She said it's over. Following the sound, I looked over and saw by the roadside Rodney blocking a refined and handsome young man, shielding his white moonlight behind him. The boy pleaded pitifully, while the girl tightly gripped Rodney's arm. Enough already. Stop pestering me. Will you? See, this is my new boyfriend. He's the only one I truly love. Like a thunderbolt from the heavens, it struck me, leaving me staggering. As if sensing something, Rodney suddenly looked up, meeting my pale gaze. I gave a bitter smile, truly wanting to slap myself. Martina, you're just a clown. He turned around to flee, but had only taken 2 steps. Behind him came the sound of hurried footsteps, and the girl's startled cry. Aiming, are you just leaving me here?
Why, I included you in everything, hoping you'd see the many facets of me. I just didn't expect you to have no patience at all. Completely disrupting the plan. Sigh. Never mind. As long as you don't abandon me, anything is fine. He buried his head in the crook of my neck, nuzzling lightly, instantly transforming into a large, sulky dog begging for pets. Such an arrogant person, making such a gesture. My heart instantly melted into a puddle. However, I still have one question. Why does your sister know my childhood nickname, and even which kindergarten I attended? Rodney looked at me with resentment. You really don't remember. I went to that school too before returning to the Edward family. Back then, some brat tricked me, saying my eyes were like the Martina in the sky, and that she was little Martina, and we'd be together forever. No way. Was I that smooth? Seeing my utterly disbelieving expression, Rodney laughed in frustration. Back then you used to call me a little kid and said you loved me the most, never even glancing at others. All nonsense. Now I can recognize you at a glance. Yet you don't have the slightest memory of me. So this love based on appearances is utterly unreliable. I strained to recall, piecing together with old family photos, then let out an incredulous exclamation. Are you that little boy who looks like a doll and doesn't talk much? Rodney smirked mischievously. Did your dementia get better? I was so shocked my jaw dropped. No. The change is too drastic. It's like Conan growing up to be Piccolo Daimao. How am I supposed to recognize him? But, did I really fall for him that early on? I truly never forgot my original intention. Stubbornly fixating on the same crooked tree to hang myself. Look. No matter what you become, I'd fall in love with you at first sight. This isn't love for the surface. It's clearly an attraction from the soul. Yes. Exactly. So what are you hesitating about? I circled around him with a straight face. Rodney smiled nonchalantly. Then should I thank the heavens for helping me avoid becoming someone you dislike? He actually didn't take the bait, but the gleam in his eyes showed he was clearly pleased with my words. I held his hand and looked into his eyes earnestly. Rodney, I'm not your sister. And you're not your mother. Trust me. We'll walk our own path. As long as you don't let go. I won't let go either. Rodney stared fixedly at me for a long moment before finally looking away. I placed a hand over my heart and sighed in resignation. How come I feel just as gullible as when I was a kid? Who's tricking you? I'm being genuine. Sincerely. So should I not hold back either? He suddenly moved closer with an ambiguous air. What do you want to do? What do you think? He breathed softly into my ear. He then mischievously pecked my slightly parted lips. Now there are all kinds of rumors about me flying around outside. Don't I have to prove something? I laughed nervously, my face showing genuine regret. Sorry. I'm not available. Rodney pinched my cheek in annoyance, finally stopping his antics. Leaning back leisurely in the chair, he crossed his legs and hummed a cheerful tune with utter relaxation. That magnetic, melodious voice carried an indescribable sense of contentment. It was precisely this lazy demeanor, this effortlessly cool slouch that was most captivating. As I watched, I gradually felt my mouth go dry. My stomach hurts a little. My gaze grew fervent as I let out a soft whimper. Rodney paused. Want me to rub it for you? I shook my head. My face flushed as I timidly extended my hand. Let me touch you. Rodney didn't move, looking at me with an amused expression, allowing my mischievous hand to slip under his clothes. Oh my God. It's been half a year. I finally got to touch those pebble-like, perfectly aligned abs. The touch was smooth and slippery, with evenly distributed muscle texture. I was so excited that I instantly forgot about my period cramps, and my mood immediately improved. Seeing how cooperative he was, I couldn't help but push my luck further, staring at the neck where his Adam's apple bobbed. Her voice was as faint as a mosquito's hum. See, can I leave a little hickey? Rodney experienced a seismic shift in his pupils. Without even changing his posture, he snorted through his nose. Girlfriend, could you please stop flirting? I sighed gloomily and withdrew my hand in desolation. I was wrong. Don't be angry. Please don't ignore me for a whole week like last time. Rodney was stunned for a moment, then turned his head away and took a deep breath. Finally, he pulled open his collar and leaned in close. I'm really convinced. You've beaten me. Let's find a more secluded spot. I happily pounced on him. He shuddered all over, his eyes suddenly darkening, speechlessly covering my eyes. Utterly aggrieved. Stop glowing green, or I'll turn into a wolf. And don't speak either. I won't compromise again. You bastard. I'm really afraid one day you'll be the death of me. I laughed and collapsed onto him. All right, boyfriend. We've got all the time in the world. Let's walk hand in hand slowly, keeping our love for each other alive. Walking towards our everlasting love. The end.